Шановні колеги,
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We continue our working day, and the topic is presentation of a guide to ATO area for journalists and members of monitoring missions. Our guests are Mykola Balaban, president of NGO Prometheus, and Mykhailo Makaruk, spokesman for the community InformNapalm, and Kvitka, support of local initiative, and Taras Shumeyko, journalist and historian. First, Mykola is given the floor. Dear colleagues, I invite you all. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present our work. Mykola Balaban, president of NGO Prometheus, to deal with the security issues survey. And this is the unity of journalists, geographists, and different specialists who study conflict in Donbass and the conflict on the whole in Ukraine. And today we want to present our project. This is a guide to ATO area, conflict area. This is a comprehensive research and description of the main processes that are ongoing in Donbass in the previous 20 years and the situation that we have in Donbass today. It is aimed for versatile audience, experts and laymen, everyone who want to start their research or to understand what is going on in Donbass and lacking comprehensive view. And now I would like to give the floor to Yulia Kvitka and to thank to Canadian Embassy in Ukraine. Without their help, we won't be able to create such a guidebook. Thank you. Good afternoon. I would like to say that in these difficult times, Canada provides comprehensive support in order to improve lives of millions of people, especially people in the east of Ukraine. They support the project for millions of dollars, and the Canadian Fund for Local Initiatives help us to support many projects. This year project that is carried out by Prometheus. And we were able to support such projects, and we are really thankful that we were ready to do this. And in this information aggression, it is important to get verified information. Unfortunately, this information is distorted, and people sometimes are not able to be provided with proper information. And this book is based on historic background that showed the history of the region, the Donbass, and also based on investigation of journalists that show real facts. And in our opinion, this book is necessary for observers, researchers, journalists who work in the ATO area or study those processes that are ongoing there. And it can be used also by other people who are interested in the events in the region. We thank for this opportunity to speak, and I would like to give the floor to Mykola, the representative of Prometheus. Thank you, Yulia. Going back to the guide, and when you speak to foreign journalists or experts, we often see that some background information should be provided to them about the Donbass as a region or peculiarities of this confrontation in the east of Ukraine. Despite big number of articles in different languages, there is lack of analytical materials. They describe only the segments of the conflict that do not reflect comprehensive picture, and it leads to lack of context from the research carried out by journalists who come for a short time and they are not able to know all the background of the situation. And we wanted to create a synthetic text that would combine simplicity of a guide with an opportunity to explain the mechanisms, explanatory mechanisms of the big book. And in this way, we have the synthesis of a guidebook and a book, and I would like to present a short video. Prometheus, the Center of Research of Security Situation, supported by Canadian fund that supports local initiatives. Annexation of Crimea and the war in the East ruin the security situation. No country in the world can just be out of this. And our guide provide background, consequences, and important facts and evidence of Russian aggression against Ukraine. Donbass in fire. On fire. So now we go back to the book. So, working with foreign audience, this is in 5 languages: English, French, German, Ukrainian, and Russian. We plan to send these books to experts, journalists, diplomats, all those who are interested in problems of the conflict in the east of Ukraine. Also, it is important to create not only some unique information. We have 5 unique maps, infographics, and it will be useful not only for experts but also to everyone who is interested, who want to understand the situation. This book will be in free circulation. You can find it in PDF format in foreign languages on site of Prometheus. And about the book, it is divided in 3 main blocks. First, this is the description of Donbass as a region and its economic, social, and other aspects of the region. Second block. So this is armed conflict in the east, military actions, occupation, deoccupation, some changes in territorial governance, and third block that explains what this hybrid war is. When we read some investigations of the journalists, we find that they speak about hybrid war, but we are interested in mechanisms of this hybrid war, how it works. And the third part of our work, it is composed of 2 subsections. First, the analysis of narrative, media sphere, and how the media represent Donbass and speak about it, that the analysis of propaganda. And the second important aspect is the illustration of this aggression, in what way the war is going on during 3 years, and why we call this war the war between Russia and Ukraine. This is not internal conflict. This is war between Russia and Ukraine. And we are grateful for cooperation with the international volunteer movement. And I would like to give the floor to Mikhail in order that he would tell us about this part of investigation connected with the evidence of Russian presence in Donbass.
To start with, glory to our nation. My name is Mykhailo Makaruk. I'm a spokesman for the community InformNapalm. I would like to thank Prometheus Center for their proposal that we also are a part, an actor in compiling this guidebook. We provided the facts of Russian aggression, the evidence which are provided in this book, and the availability of Russian arms, which has never been produced by other countries and which is used only in the Russian army or is tested, is in the process of testing in the territories of occupied territories of Donetsk and Lugansk region, and they on tests by Russian army. Our research are well known not only in Ukraine but also all over the world, and talking about the mechanism, QR codes, links and references are provided. Our articles also have other references which will help you to form an overall vision, and I'd like to say that the Prometheus Center might be the only organization which applied to us to create a complete guidebook which will help to counteract Russian propaganda, and we can oppose this propaganda that the hybrid war continues not only in Ukraine but also in the Eastern Europe, where Russia sees its potential influence. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mykhailo Makaruk. Proceeding our talk about our activities, a very important thing as a legal understanding of this conflict in Donbass, how it is seen by various Ukrainian state authorities and international institutions. You can see the list in annexes of all decommunized titles of settlements. You can also see here different lexicons and terms and glossary of terms used in the context of the war in Donbass, and you can also watch over and trace all these definitions and discourses on Donbass and the qualification of the actions in Donbass, and you can see the main thesis. During the while preparing our guidebook, we used very important forms, such as we took interviews from journalists and analytics, multiple interviews, and we asked them what their opinion about the conflict in Donbass, and the basis of our narrative was we illustrated in our book with the interpretations from this interviews, and I would like to thank our interviewers. So I would like to give the floor to a Polish journalist who we have interviewed as well. I am a Polish and Ukrainian journalist. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm proud to talk here, and the book is beautiful. First of all, I would like to say that I appreciate practical aspect of issue in this guidebook. 2 years ago, I might have far less work when I contacted and cooperated with other mass media sources. In 2015, there was such an example when I was in cafe in Donetsk at night. We were drinking tea, and along one of the central streets of Donetsk, the military machinery was moving. We are the journalists, and we have the background to cover social problems, not military news. So we looked at this military machinery, and we recognize only multiple launch rocket systems. All the rest of machinery, we being non-militaries, we didn't know what the models were. What was the type of machinery, where is it from, whether Ukrainian army has it. If we have such a guidebook, we can really make some opinion what type of machinery that were. So this is the knowledge which the journalists coming to ATO area, to Donetsk, should know in order to recognize the situation, what weaponry is used. And this historical background is also very important, because in 2014 it was hard for me to explain to foreigners what situation is happening in the region, who we see, because we saw some protesters rallying around the streets of Donetsk, and sometimes there were such episodes where they set on fire the flags of football team of Donetsk. This was an obvious sign that they were not local people, because they are fans of the local football team. But the events which we saw, it was hard for us to find strict evidence, clear evidence, and if we have such digest of information, of knowledge about political processes before the start of the conflict, this information is important, and I think that this guidebook, I would recommend it to all journalists arriving to Ukraine who ask for accreditation to ATO area. I propose that the Security Service of Ukraine gives links to this guidebook at their website. And now please demonstrate the link to our site, Prometheus NGO. One of key aspects is translations and multi-language activities. This guidebook is a product of the teamwork. The translators have put huge efforts, and they created 5 language versions of the book, and we hope every one of us of you can use this language versions. The book is not just a book to read and forget. It gives the references, the links to internet websites. If you want to know more details on the mechanics of this aggression, you can use the link and read more. Or if you are interested in legal aspects of Donbass conflict, you can use a QR code and switch to the site with all the details on this or that governmental or domestic or international document concerning the situation in Ukraine. So the interaction of paper book with electronic sites is also important. So these are the main things which we should have told you. Are there any questions among the audience, please? You are welcome. Comments? Maybe you have some comments. No. Oh, yes, we have. My name is Perepelitsa, Institute of Foreign Policy of the Diplomatic Academy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. I would like to thank you for your work. Of course, it should have been done in 2014, but I am glad that you have completed this work in 2017 because this is very much needed work. Our government have been talking much about the hybrid war, but the definition is not provided. First works by Ganchar and the project Antares was completed, and now you are the second project. Your guidebook appeared now because we need very much such literature containing very simple explanations, and this is also much needed for Europe and the USA because the hybrid war has been carried out in their countries, but they just don't notice it. The situation is much worse. In France, we can see already the implications, the results. We can see how Russia applies its internet methods of the hybrid war. So very important hybrid war takes place not only in Ukraine but in the West. So thank you very much because your book is multilingual, and you provide information not only to Ukrainians but also to foreign readers. Thank you. If I would like to add, I am a volunteer of Ukrainian civil society organization, and I would like to see some activity on the part of security service of Ukraine, which takes a passive standing. So we hope that this guidebook and materials of InformNapalm, they are in open access, and our Ministry of Foreign Affairs will disseminate this information. InformNapalm information is available in 30 languages of the world, so please disseminate our information. Our guidebook in 5 languages, and InformNapalm information in 30 languages. Thank you very much to all of you for issuing this guidebook, and Ukraine Crisis Media Center will help with disseminating your book. We will send to the Minister of Foreign Relations today the PDF version, electronic version of your book, and we will disseminate your guidebook but among the embassies of Ukraine all over the world, and disseminate it to other departments of the government. And thank you as well for this opportunity to present our book. Do you have any final remarks? No, thank you. That's all.